All right, let's talk some Texas A&M Aggies football in the middle of a three-game winning streak. The A&M squad has moved into the top 25 in the college football world once again. And to that end, they just got great news before a big-time SEC matchup this weekend. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Texas A&M is heading into its annual showdown with Arkansas in AT&T Stadium in the Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth area, DFW area, which we just were. We watched Dallas play Baltimore last Sunday. Heck of a stadium, heck of a complex. My first time in that neck of the woods. Really great environment. Any of you guys out there from there, or if you've gone to the game, or if you've been to a game there, you guys know how special it is. But this is an Aggie squad that, after a disappointing Week 1 defeat, has built a little bit of momentum, and we've got some great news on the injury front for this team. Let's pull up this report courtesy of 24/7 Sports. In his weekly SEC teleconference call Wednesday, Texas A&M head coach gave an injury update on quarterback Connor Weigman. Elko seemed more optimistic about Weigman compared to last week, offering he is, quote, hopeful, unquote, his starter will be available to play when number 24 A&M, 3-1, 1-0 in the SEC, faces Arkansas, 3-1, also 1-0 in the SEC, this Saturday at, of course, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. All right, look, this is an A&M squad that's just trying to get a little bit healthier, coming off a massive dominating victory over Florida a few weeks ago. They're looking better and better heading into another SEC matchup. Anytime you get healthier, especially at the quarterback position, it's always good news. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Aggies fans, in the comment section below, we've worked our way through 4 games now so far. A little bit of downtimes for A&M early, looking better recently. Give us your 4-game MVP for this Texas A&M squad. Give us an under-the-radar guy that you think is really leading this team so far to this 3-1 record. Again, give us your MVP through 4 games and put them in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest update for Texas A&M?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a pretty big news for A&M. Obviously, any injury news, anyone getting better, which there are a couple other guys that are potentially getting better. We're talking about center TJ Shanahan, defensive end Shamar Stewart, and safety Bryce Anderson, all trending towards getting healthier as well. But obviously, the big one, quarterback Connor Weigman. This is the one I think that really is going to be very important for this Texas A&M squad because Arkansas a little bit frisky down the stretch. This is a team that is, they're 3-1 as well. They're 1-0 in the SEC as well. I think this is a game that is more important than we might have thought last year or a year or two ago coming up on Texas A&M's schedule. This is a team that I think can maybe give some teams trouble, especially if your quarterback's not playing. They beat Auburn. They beat UAB. I mean, UAB isn't anything impressive, but Auburn, on the other hand, that's a tough team. That's nothing to scoff at. So I'm really happy for the Aggies and just all of Texas A&M that Weigman is coming back because a team without a quarterback, which we know Texas A&M has had their up and downs the last couple of seasons with quarterback injuries. It's been brutal the last 2 or 3 years, having a bunch of guys out, a bunch of guys in. But Weigman, he really seems like he's got something special, and I'm excited to see him get out there and face this Arkansas Razorbacks team who, like I said, is no joke. So good news for the Aggies is going to be good news for them moving down this tough SEC schedule.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail right on the head there in terms of your last sentence there as they get into the thick of their SEC schedule because it gets a lot tougher from here on out. They've got Missouri on the other side of Arkansas, LSU not that far away, and of course that number 1 matchup against Texas, currently number 1, looming at the end of the season for Texas A&M. So right now the most important thing for this team as they get ready for this gauntlet, the second 2/3 of the season, is to get healthy. You named all those other guys, of course. I think that's critical, but I think the quarterback position is important because as much as I like Marcel Reed and he showed a lot of moxie, gave a little spark, of course, we saw against Bowling Green that he is limited, certainly as a passer. He's a great athlete, great young kid, does have a bright future, I think, in some ways in front of him. But the reality was he is very limited in terms of what they're able to do offensively, in terms of how creative they want to get, how they can utilize all the playmakers on this team. Weigman, I think, has a lot more ceiling to him. I think he could be a really quality all SEC caliber quarterback, honestly, if he realizes his potential. We're hoping that him getting healthy back into the fold, whether it's this week or next, will allow him to play at a much higher level and push this Aggies offense to that higher level. Because like we talk about all the time, I talked about it yesterday, winning in modern college football, just like it's the NFL, it's become so much of the same thing these days. is all about elite quarterback play, right? You can have a great defensive strategy, which I think the Aggies have shown they do. Elko's doing a great job. They've got talent at a lot of positions. If you don't have elite quarterback play, you will not be successful. I think the fact that Marcel Reed stepped in and did an admirable job, I think is commendable. Good job as a backup. But if this Aggies team is going to be a real contender, a real force in the SEC this year, they're going to need Weigman playing at the top of his game. And the only way he gets there is if he gets back on the field. So this is obviously great news for Texas A&M.